thank you for taking your time out to be here today. Thank you, Campus Manager, Mrs. Kutsi, for allowing me the opportunity to present my strategic plan. Right, so as everyone can see, this is my strategic plan. Firstly, as you all know, I'm Helga Engelbrecht, and this is my strategic plan for our campus, Pretoria campus. Okay, it's a 5-year strategic plan from next year, 2025, to 2029. Okay, so just a brief overview. I'll start with my introduction. I'll be discussing strategic indicators related to the plan, tactical indicators, operational indicators. Then I'll do a conclusion, and lastly we'll have an opportunity, Mr. Smith, as you asked, to give me feedback or ask questions. Okay? Also bear in mind, you can ask the questions. I might not have the answer. If I don't, I will do my best to go and research or investigate and come back with a correct answer. Okay. Now, breaking it down, I know some of these terms might seem foreign, but just the strategic indicators that I'll be discussing today: vision for our college and campus, the mission, and values. Okay? Then tactical indicators is the goals, the strategic goals that I am hoping to implement for the campus, and the action plans, the sound rationale and coherence, theoretical and practical foundations, and then internal and external consultations. Some of those things are not necessarily like sound rationale and coherence, and theoretical and practical foundations. Might not necessarily have a slide assigned to them, but I'll speak of it throughout my presentation. Then operational indicators, that relates to planning and the alignment of resources, input by organizational entities, and then sustainability factors. That is what I'll be speaking on, specifically risk assessment related to the strategic goals, and then mitigating measures, what we can do to prevent those risks from happening. Okay, so that's a lot. We don't have much time or a lot of time, so I am going to probably not cover all of them, but the basics, the most important parts. Right, so firstly, the strategic indicators. Right, our vision. We all know by now, this is our new vision, to be a global pioneer in post-school education and training excellence. I felt I did not want to change or amend or come up with my own vision and mission and values for Protea campus, rather to stick to Northern's ones. Okay? Then the mission is empowering individuals through impactful, accredited education and training that will bridge the skills gap, drive economic growth and development globally. Remember, this is what we also discussed with Chantal Lincoln at Encore not too long ago, a few months ago. We brainstormed and workshopped this. Our values: innovation, integrity, accountability, responsiveness, student-centeredness, which is very important, inclusive. We need to become inclusive, and we need to focus on quality. Okay, so that is Northing's pillars that we need to focus on. Now, I'm just going to put TVET education and TVET colleges into context for you. So I'm going to start with what is our role as a TVET college. And globally, our role in development is to equip individuals with skills for employment and innovation, and contributing to the economic and social development of nations. So that is our main role. The challenges we face there is the misalignment with labour market trends. We don't always get it right. We can speak of experience, labour, or the industry requires X, we provide Y. Okay, so there's misalignment. That's one of the challenges. Also, there's limited access. Not everyone has access to this education. And gender inequality. Okay. Then the emerging trends that we picked up through research. research is the increasing emphasis on digital and green skills. Okay, they're placing a lot of emphasis on that. And the expansion of partnerships between industries and educational institutions. Right. Okay. So this is the phasing out of the legacy programs and the implementation or phasing in of our, as we call them, QCTO occupational programs. So it's not just at Northlink, it's happening all over. Okay? TVET in Africa is critical for youth employment across Africa, where over 60% of the population is under 25. Okay? So what that tells us is there are lots of youth, okay, who don't have access, they are unemployed, and that is who we need to target. Okay? That's what's happening in Africa. Key issues there is underfunding, outdated curriculum, and limited infrastructure. Then in South Africa, our government's focus is on improving access to TVET colleges. That's Northlink's, one of Northlink's strategic goals as well. We need to expand, okay, to make access, give access to everyone, to reduce unemployment. TVET colleges have expanded. Okay, we have been. There's no denying that. But there's challenges that remain in terms of quality and alignment with industry needs. You see, this keeps coming up. The alignment, the misalignment. We need to work with industry. Then, socio-political factors affecting us, TVET colleges. This relates to, the pestle analysis that one would do. Okay? Government policies and funding. We are definitely influenced by that. Labor market dynamics. Social perceptions and stigma. In other words, there are people who think that they will receive an inferior education if they should register at the TVET college, or they don't want to register their child or a family member at a TVET college. Okay, so that is what that speaks of. Demographic trends, equity and access, spoke about that, and then political stability and governance. We still a bit after our election, we're not quite settled yet, okay? So there is political instability there. Then, moving on. Now I go to megatrends. Megatrends are those trends that, whether we like it or not, it's affecting us all, globally, across the world. Fourth Industrial Revolution, we've all heard it by now. It's been coming on since Mr. Beach. I remember him and Mr. Maggot used to speak about it. Well, it's here. I think we're moving on to the next level, if I'm not mistaken. It's the fifth Industrial Revolution. So, the fourth Industrial Revolution, where automation and digitization is reshaping workplaces, and that's so true. Okay? Those of us who come from industry, who have been in industry now recently with work-based learning placements, you can see, right, that there's definitely a change, and we need to keep up with this. Lifelong learning and upskilling is also very important. Continuous learning and upskilling is essential to keep pace with technological advancements. If we don't keep up, if we don't keep upskilling ourselves, if we don't commit to lifelong learning, you're going to be left behind. Okay? Then you may as well retire or leave and stay at home, do the garden, gardening, etc. So, yeah, quality and accreditation, a lot of emphasis is being placed on that as well, and we need to deliver quality, relevant, accredited programs. You'll see that was part of our vision that I mentioned earlier, vision and mission. And then inclusive education. There's a growing focus on making TVET accessible to all. Removing barriers based on gender, your socioeconomic status, ethnicity, disability, gender, etc. And I said, yes, I did. But you understand what I mean. We need to remove those barriers. Then our campus environment. I'm speaking to the people who are here. Bear with me. You're working. You are Protea campus. So, Northern College, our campus, Protea has a total 1,320 registered students, right? I think that's an approximate figure. The campus is situated in Bellville, which is a residential, industrial and a commercial suburb in Cape Town. So it's within walking distance of the train station and taxi and bus terminus. And there's an array, like I said, there's a huge selection of businesses in our area, in our vicinity. So that makes us, our location makes us an ideal campus, the campus, we grab hold of this, become the pioneers to be offering occupational courses. I've listed in orange what we currently offer. We know it's NCV Hospitality, NCV Tourism, NCV FEA, Introductory Food Services, Introductory Human Resource Management, Intro Marketing Management, Clothing Production, and then at the bottom, it's Pre-Learning Program or PLP. Now, there are changes, shifts that will be taking place from 2025 onwards. For the sake of there's still lots of uncertainty and planning that's being done around that. Hence, I did not include it here, and I'm just stating what we currently offer. Okay, so just to bear that in mind. Then, this is our SWOT analysis as a campus, also to put us into perspective. Looking at our strengths, we do have qualified staff teaching here. That's one thing. We don't have that issue or problem. We offer accredited qualifications as well, and our location, as I mentioned. Then our weaknesses, we have limited infrastructure for expanding technical programs. Yes, because we would need, again, bearing in mind that there are changes that are going to be happening, but up until it's in black and white and communicated to us, we will stick to what the situation we're currently in. Then we have insufficient digital resources to meet growing demand for online learning, and we are dependent on traditional funding sources, which limits innovation from our side. Okay? We are on the brink, stepping stone of going over that, where we're going to start looking at NSF, for example, funding from CETUS, discretionary grants, etc. So maybe soon it won't be a weakness anymore. Hopefully next year this time. Then opportunities, there's a growing demand for digital and technical skills due to the fourth industrial revolution, which we need to grab hold of. Okay? Seize the moment. Potential, we also have potential to form new industry partnerships at national and international levels if we just need to work out the process that we're going to follow to do it. And then our threats. We spoke about it on Friday at our workshop as well. There's increased competition, not just from private TVET institutions, but our fellow public TVET colleges as well. Because now it's survival of the fittest. Whoever gets there first, whoever offers that particular program first, okay, you're the forerunner, you will be the person breaking boundaries, and unfortunately, if we're going to be one of those campuses or colleges who's going to be standing behind or coming here, we might be left in the dark. Okay? So there's also rapid technological changes that may outpace curriculum updates. So you can see it's going at a very fast rate. The fourth industrial revolution has caused automation, digitization, technological advancements. It's moving at a rapid rate. We need to keep up. Tactical indicators, that's the next part. So, my first strategic goal that I would implement to prepare us for these megatrends that's emerging, that's there already. By December 2028, Protea Campus will fully implement a dual education model combining 50% classroom-based instruction and 50% workplace training in partnership with 10 local and national industries. Okay, you see? That is my plan. Right? The objective is to enhance student employability and meet market needs. Right. Now, what is, or why the dual approach to vocational education? What is it, Helga? This year was the very first time that I was introduced to it as well. Okay, it's everything revolves around this approach. If we want to successfully implement these occupational programs that we have already identified, we need to wrap our heads around this, okay, the dual approach. I'm going to start at the bottom, the definition. What is it? Students, we need to forget the traditional chalk and talk method that we currently use. Students learn by doing, okay? By working. When I say doing, it's more working. We combine working and learning. They technically, in our workshop on Fridays, what Marina mentioned, did you see the progression? From a lower level, they'll spend 3 days in the classroom, 2 days in the workplace. When they move to the next level, they'll spend 2 days in the classroom, 3 days in the workplace. And the third level, then they'll spend 1 day in the classroom, 4 days in the workplace. So that is how we need to now wrap our heads around that and how we are going to, how one would implement that. Right? It creates a symbiotic relationship, meaning all parties involved can benefit from it. We need to look at it like that. Don't think of it as, oh, it's just a lot of work with its challenges and work, this, that. We can all benefit from it. It needs to be solved in that manner. Companies will provide apprenticeships, mentoring, real-world experiences, and colleges or schools, we deliver the academic foundation. Okay? But the curriculum needs to remain relevant, and it will be if industry and colleges work together. If we speak to each other, okay, and students will be well prepared for the workplace. Now, in Switzerland, for example, I just used that country, the one that's one of the countries. 30 to 40% of the companies offer apprenticeships. But this is how it works. Currently, what do? We identify a program, right? Then we market, we go out there and we are looking for students. Internationally, for example, Switzerland, it's the companies that approach the institutions, the vet colleges or TVET colleges, and will then say, we have X amount, 10 employees that we would like to undergo training here with you. Do you see how and because they know that sending their employees to this particular college, institution, what they will get back is a well-rounded student or employee that is perfect or suitably matched for the industry that they are in. Then it's a win-win situation, same as symbiotic. Companies, they get experienced staff that are highly skilled, and students gain employment. Okay? And the benefits, students will learn skills, they gain work experience, they will easily find a job. There's the potential to decrease dropout rates and also to decrease unemployment, which we currently experience. Students learn to operate modern machines and technology, not the fax machine like we have in our curriculum store, for example, but more modern equipment. Right, so that was just some why I opted for that. Now, the action plan. This is my idea. So 2024, the objective, that's this year, the institutional assessment must take place, which has been ongoing, as we all know. Okay, EM has been busy with it, as you can see. Financial resources, I have an estimated amount here of about 20,000 Rand for administrative expenses, and the operational resources be evaluation tools and reports. Okay, so this I've said should take place from between January and December this year. Then 2025, next year, we need to start reskilling and upskilling about 10 staff members. I put the total to it so that we have something to figure to strive towards and to work towards. Not just say a reskill and upskill. We need to set targets for ourselves, okay, so that we can achieve it. Human resources, in other words, those involved who would be involved would be HR, EM, campus management, which would be all of us here, and staff, and also training providers identified to reskill and upskill staff. I've again estimated, I worked on about 50,000 Rand per person, per staff member, the total about 500,000 Rand. The operational resources, we would need suitably accredited courses or programs. Okay, and then that time frame would be ongoing as of next year, would be ongoing. Also, we need to upgrade our practical rooms, our simulation rooms, and then source learning material. This will happen between January and June next year. I know that we have started sourcing, we've received or we have sourced learning material for one of our programs. Looking at about financially 900,000 Rand again. The logic behind that was if we're spending 350,000 Rand to equip one computer room, for example. Because our focus is going to be operationally, we're going to look at desks, chairs, office equipment, computers, and then are also included in the learning materials, okay, for the particular courses. Then also in 2025, next year, apply for accreditation. That has also started already, but I said there from June to December 2025, we will focus on it. Because we do now, after these sessions we've had, I've also realized those things need to be in place first, the upgrading of the rooms, the learning materials, staffing, before we can apply for accreditation. And that is why I've allocated that towards the end of next year. Right, I'm still busy with that one. This is the biggest goal here. 2026, we need to start forming partnerships with industry. Now I know you're wondering why don't we do that next year already? You know, reason being, our aim is we're going to start implementing skills programs first. We don't need workplace industry partners for skills programs, right? So we're going to be doing that. Business development department, world department will be involved. Campus management, again, us lecturers. I again worked on an estimated amount of about 200,000 Rand for travel and outreach expenses. You know, we might go, whoever needs to go out, and it's travel and sustenance and etc. that needs to be paid. The operational resources, what do we need, what is going to be evidence is our MOUs and contracts that we will sign with industry partners, and they have put June 2026. So by then, we should have formed at least 10 partnerships, okay, so that we can have a relationship with them. Then 2026 will implement our first skills program. 2027 implement our second skills program, and then 2028 our third skills program. I have not been specific because that is something we still need to look into and investigate as a team. Okay? My second strategic goal is to develop 21st century skills and competencies in the classroom. When doing my research here on campus, I did a few lecturer surveys and student surveys, speaking to staff, lecturers, speaking to students as well. It was evident, even when one does class visits, that our students lack 21st century skills. It's the 4 C's that you see there: creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication skills. These are the skills that industry wants. Again, it relates back to the dual approach. This is what they need. Our students go into the industry, they cannot think logically, critically, analyze a problem, because they need staff or workers that are able to do that. So we need to start in the classroom already. Okay? And it's to allow students to effortlessly transition from the classroom to the workplace. So they mustn't feel out of place when they're in the workplace, because now, oh no, my lecturer always gave me the answers. My lecturer projected the memo on the board for us. We never had to figure it out for ourselves. So it starts in the classroom. Right. Now, so the action plan for that, 2025, next year we need to implement what? Project-based learning to build problem-solving skills. That will be campus management, us, lecturers and students. This, bringing in the fourth industrial revolution, will be linked to Moodle. Okay? So the operational resources needed would be Moodle content creation. So we need to work and develop activities that we can post or load onto Moodle that's going to develop 21st century skills. And from January next year, it will be ongoing. Okay? It's something that we need to work on all the time. Also in 2025, we will implement WORL for students. Whether it still be NCV students, back in the day, we can all remember, our NCV's level 4 students used to go out for WBE during the June recess. I know COVID happened, and you see, because it's not a requirement to stipulate it in the curriculum, it just fell through the cracks. But I feel we need to start implementing, even though it's being phased out, but just to assist us as lecturers and management to get into that, the swing of that, doing that, arranging and planning that, in preparation for our occupational programs that will be implemented as well. Okay, so campus management, industry stakeholders, lecturers, WORL department and students will all be involved. Again, roughly 20,000 Rand for traveling costs. The operational resources would be the documentation. There we can link a formative, even if it's on Moodle. You see, we bring Moodle in. Link it onto Moodle or load it onto Moodle for them to do. Not making them become despondent because it's not for marks. Okay? So we need to become creative where that's concerned. And that can happen during June, recess each year. Also 2025 staff training on 21st century skills. Their HR, because now we need to identify, or they can assist us to identify courses. Campus management, lecturers and training providers would be involved there, and I looked at about roughly 500 or 5,000 Rand per person to do this particular course. The operational resources, it must be an accredited course. And this time frame for this is next year from January to December. We can implement it. Right, looking at my third strategic goal is by June 2028, Protea Campus will integrate gamification elements into Moodle, including badges, leaderboards, and interactive challenges. There are a few staff who do the quizzes, the Kahoots. That's related, it's a form of gamification. Because we all play games here as well. Candy Crush, what is the other? There's quite a few. You see where, what motivates you. You become addicted to the game because you can't put it down because they have got another life, or I've earned a badge, or I'm moving to the next level. My avatar has changed, etc. So imagine if we can incorporate this into our daily teaching. It becomes a form of methodology. That's how you have students. Again, you'll see it's to increase student engagement by 30%. That is another 21st century skill. Creativity, collaboration, communication, to engage them, to have them here, come to class, and also for them to complete. We want to increase or improve course completion rates by 20% at least, okay, our throughput. Right. So this is how I hope to do it, or how we can as a team do it. Next year to research and design gamification framework. I know it sounds intense, We do have staff here. We have Moodle champions. We do have staff like Mikael Passman. We have Miss Eloise Crutch, Siobhan Boysons, who've done, you've designed online programs, that the course that you did. And I do believe if the want is there, motivation, you can actually teach yourself and get a lot done. So the human resources we need is instructional designers, gamification experts, right? And the financial resources plus minus 350,000 rand to do research and the framework design. We already have Moodle, so why not use Moodle? For one of my assignments, I actually added a badge to one of the pages on Moodle. Created my own badge and uploaded that. I just need to figure out how to link it to, the gamification concept. But that I did just playing around and on Moodle itself and figuring it out. So with more time and with more motivation, I'm sure it can be done. Okay, so we'll need research tools and development platforms, and this time frame is from January to June 2025. Then also next year, we can maybe look at piloting gamification in 2 programs. One cozy where you now earn one. Once you complete this level, for the 5 questions, you earn a badge. Well done, you've earned a badge. Now you move on to the next course. Then you earn an intermediate badge. That type of thing to keep them going, But we're going to need internet connectivity and bandwidth. That's important. Okay, that might be a challenge there. 2026, we need to train our lecturers and staff on gamification integration. Okay. Training an IT specialist would be needed there, roughly about 5,000 rand per person, and we'll need workshop materials and software licenses. And this should happen between January 2026 and December 2026. Lastly, then for the next 3 years after that, 2027 to 2029, we roll it out to all programs offered. Okay, HODs, PMs, lecturers, Moodle champions, coordinators, and IT specialists will all be involved there. Like we've all come together with the EPOA. What else did we all tackle? This webinars, etc. Together. If it's steamrolled and comes, we all work together. It can be rolled out. We're going to need again Moodle, internet connectivity, and bandwidth. And that will be, not December 2025, but December 2029. My apologies. Right. Then the operational indicators. Remember I said I'm going to speak about risk assessment specifically and the sustainability. Now, for our first goal, which is the dual approach, the risks there, lack of industry partnerships. The impact is high. It's a high chance that could happen, but we will not have enough. The likelihood is medium. What we could do, the mitigation measures, would be early engagement with industries, starting in 2025 already. Offer incentives for industries to participate, such as tax breaks or recognition awards, if that's in our power, not in our power, but powers that be. Build relationships through existing alumni. We all have ex-students on our Facebook contacts, etc. Use them, reach out to them, okay? Because that's a good way of building relationships with industry as well. Then insufficient workplace placements for students, that will have a high impact on us if we're wanting to incorporate dual approach and implement occupational programs. Full qualifications and part qualifications need workplace. These workplace modules. Am I correct? Yes. Workplace modules, and they need to be placed within industry. So we can stagger student placements throughout the academic year. We can expand the number of partners to include small and medium enterprises. So your entrepreneurs, We could use a placement rotation model across industries as well. We don't want to bombard industry with 150 students all at once, or our industry stakeholders. If we can stagger them, it would be ideal to mitigate that from happening. Then financial constraints for implementation. We can secure funding from government, industry sectors and external grants. Ensure cost-effective program implementation. Costing is very important, as Marina explained to us on Friday. We need to do a proper thorough. We don't want to under charge or overcharge. That the course is so expensive, we have no students interested. And then partner with industries to co-fund or sponsor certain training aspects, example, equipment that we might need. And then there might be resistance from staff. Okay? I think we moved a bit through that. We're making some progress where that is concerned. We can offer staff development workshops to build buy-in. You can involve staff in designing the new model, provide incentives for staff engaging with industry programs. Then that's not up to us, maybe we don't have that particular power. And then lastly, student engagement challenges. Okay, so provide orientation programs, explaining the benefits of dual education. Regularly monitor student satisfaction and then address concerns swiftly. Okay? So get feedback from your students also, who we place in industry, so that we can resolve any issues that might arise. Then the second goal, which is the 21st century skills, strategic goal. We might have staff with inadequate teacher training. They may struggle to integrate the new skills effectively, leading to poor outcomes. Then how can we mitigate it? Provide ongoing professional development programs, introduce peer mentorship. There will be a resistance to change with staff here as well. Resistance from teachers and students may slow down adoption of new teaching methods. Engage them early in the planning process already. Be transparent and communicate as much as possible. Offer clear incentives for adopting new practices. Then there might be limited access to technology. Lack of access to modern tools like computers or internet may hinder skill development. Mitigated by investing in necessary infrastructure like devices and internet, and explore partnerships to secure technology funding. Then curriculum misalignment. Again, our curriculum is very outdated. Those of us working in NCV and Report 191, we are aware of this. The curriculum may not be updated to reflect 21st century skill requirements, but that does not stop us from incorporating it. Okay? Conduct a curriculum review and update to ensure alignment with modern competencies. We now know it's going to be phased out as well. Yes, it's going to be phased out, but in the event that it's not phased out immediately as planned, we can still incorporate those 21st century skills. And then lack of student engagement. Students may not engage with the new learning methods, reducing skill development. So incorporate interactive, gamified and project-based learning methods. You see, they all integrated with each other, the three goals. Almost done, eh? Then the gamification risk plan. This is the last strategic goal. We might have technical issues with Moodle integration, which is quite common with load shedding. Yes, we've moved past that now as well, but conduct a technical feasibility assessment before you start. Work closely with Moodle experts or hire external consultants. Ensure robust IT support throughout the project and during rollout. So have IT, have call on standby. Okay? Have call on standby. Staff resistance to gamification. They might think, what is this? We're not here to play games. But provide training and workshops for staff to familiarize them with gamification techniques. Showcase, expose them to case studies on gamification where it's been proven that it works. Okay? show them case studies or expose them, or have someone from another college who they've implemented, they've started using it, to come and speak to them as a guest. Then student overload and resistance. I mentioned this earlier. Ensure that the elements are aligned with learning outcomes. Don't let them do something and then it's, like not for marks, or it's not a subject outcome or learning outcome, for example. Roll out the gamification in phases, with student feedback also guiding your implementation. Regularly monitor and adjust challenges to prevent burnout. We don't want students feeling overwhelmed. If they feel overwhelmed, they're going to say, this is not for me, I don't want this. And then there's that barrier that has been created. And then the high cost. I know, yes, there's a high cost of implementation, but allocate maybe part of the budget early. See if we can get away with it to cover initial software integration costs. Seek external funding or grants for innovative teaching methods and ensure cost-effective selection of gamification tools. Use what's free. There are free tools that one can use as well. So that is basically what that is saying. And then consultations. I do need to mention that I've done internal and external consultations. Internal is with you as well. When we speak, we interact, we workshop things, campus senior management, lecturers, interviews and surveys, students interviews and surveys, student support services when myself and Jody and Cheryl would interact as well, using the information that I gathered in that manner. Externally, managers at TVET colleges in South Africa, which are also my colleagues who was also registered for the program that I'm currently doing. We share a lot, we learn a lot from each other as well. Best practices, and then industry stakeholders as well, and employers and employees. So it does not just mean that it's people who I've spoken to or interacted with here, but outside as well. Right, and then just a list of my references so that you know I didn't make things up as I went along. There's 2 slides listing my references, and then that is the end of my presentation. We're just going to also if there's any feedback, it would be appreciated. I know it's a lot, and I've tried to, if I had spoken about all the other points, would have been a lot longer. Let's make information overload. If there's any feedback, anyone has any questions, like I said, if I have the answer, I will gladly answer you, but if I don't, I will go and do some research or investigate and come back with an answer at our next senior meeting.
Feedback? Well done. This presentation, even I got to see just the way it was presented, clear, concise, and you can understand, you can relate. It's not jargon that you have to think, what does that word mean? So,
thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mrs. Fitzroy. Some of these, the gamification, the elements is what we were taught in our first module. We did educational technology during the first semester. So, yes, it can be done. That's what I'm trying to say. Slowly but surely it can be done.
I remember when I was teaching, when I did office log processing, there was a program in Denver to arrange that because it was free for an hour, a certain number of days or period or something, and for a certain number of computers. So the students would come in, log in. It was office log processing where they would learn time, but then on Friday we used to have the game day. So like the words coming down in the form of little bubbles and stuff, and you had to type so that it shoots that word, and obviously you have your lives, and if you
Yes.
couldn't type 3 of the words in time, then you have to stop. So that's
But yes, it's just if we think of ourselves, some of us, I don't know about you, I like games and I learn better with games. So why not bring it into the world? And maybe, not just maybe, I'm sure it will improve our process. And students will want to come to class because it's fun. They don't know what you're going to pull out of the hat today. They like, wait, let's go because we don't know what to expect. So,
I don't know, can you remember when we had the first few presentations, and one of those presentations that was still in 2026 was a Winkelman van Schalkwyk that sat together and they won their prize or something. It was also some type of day, something that everybody could do at the same time, but they had to, whoever got the most
was that
right.
the Quasi's presentation that
That
they
was
did in
something
26?
like that.
Was it that one?
Yeah, but like everybody could see, and you had to do it, get as many right as possible in that short period of time. It was one of the best practices. Yeah.
Yes. So that's another way of maybe implementing it, going back and somehow incorporating the best practice sessions that we used to, that we had. A lot of the things that we used to do worked.
Yeah.
And we maybe just as refreshers and especially for newer staff as well. We now know, some of us here, Cindy, like best practices is what we share. Something relating to educational technology with each other as a whole. So if you taught yourself something related to educational technology, you then share it with the rest of the staff. And so sharing is caring. It's called community of practices as well. We all collaboration, 21st century skill that we incorporate in.
Helga, the concept of gamification, it's not a new concept.
Yes,
It's been around all the time. So when people are going to hear gamification now, because it's now being labeled gamification, then they need to think it's programming that they need to do. But we need to point out that there's such a lot of that on the internet already.
Yes.
All they need to do is just get it and make sure that it's in line with what they want to achieve.
Yes.
And then it is there. So it's not, they shouldn't be scared of it because it's just a matter of familiarizing yourself with what is available.
I know that specific one that I used had to do with licensing. I mean, if they are able to, they know, like he says, go and check what is available and tell us beforehand. So when you do the budget,
Yes.
we can budget for licensing for those types of things. Yes. Yeah, because like it says, you might not think of the way you mentioned about having to design it. You don't necessarily have to design it. It's available.
It's available.
And something else also, yes, people are, they feel they are being forced when they have to do the sharing of best practices, whatever. But I mean, if 3, 4, 5 of them, different fields, if they prepare to go and check, do the research, come up with them, show them, but have the staff participate, because that one that we did in 26, I sat there, but the commotion, how staff were exactly. And my thing was, if the staff are excited, imagine how your kids.
Absolutely. Especially with robust students that don't know left click and right click because they are clothing. But then I do, there's a thing called mouse size, and it's online. So you mouse size and it tells you click on the word, this one, double click on the word, that one, and then they need to, and it times you as well. And then it's also got these balloons that you can click on the alphabet too. So you get online options like that as well. And I enjoy it. I even do the paint in the beginning. It's also like just part of it, how this is the games that we're going to play now, and afterwards we're going to do real work. But then the paint, like a towel, like you would draw a garment, use the paint. Just to paint the dress, paint something, and
connected to their field.
yeah, so it was surprising.
And what was nice about some of those specific games, when they say they are taught the whole drum, whatever words come up only has those letters where they are. So you can do, you understand, you don't need to know the whole keyboard to be able to play the game. It gives you in bite sizes, and you have an option, if like it gives you a result, and it will tell you were struggling with this letter. So
Feedback.
then, yes, feedback, and then you will tell them, okay, to continue, and then they'll give you other exercises where most of the words would have that particular letter in it that you are struggling with. And it gives you your progress as well, specific to you. Because every time you come, you log in with your details, so it has your progress.
Certified.
And that's how many years ago?
Yes.
Wow, that's a long time.
It just has a fancy term. It's a new word in the dictionary. But it's been around for a while.
Thank you very much. I think it was very insightful, very thorough, and specifically for the occupational, we call us a unit, occupational unit. It was well structured, so it will definitely guide us into what's going to be next. We're definitely going to
I think it would help
use,
if you use the action plan.
yes,
There's another business canvas model that I will share with you that
Yes,
will
please.
assist and help with you
yeah,
with just putting it all
Yes,
into perspective
yes.
so that you know exactly, you know,
Yeah.
the planning.
yeah, yeah. It was very realistic. It's, thank you.
Yes.
I have a question. So we are targeting the QCT program. Is there a specific NQF level that we are targeting? I'm asking depending on like, yeah. And how is it going to have an effect on the universities? Because at ours, obviously ours is workplace based, so it's better than to attend at the TV college than a university because you're getting the workplace experience if it's equal to the same qualification.
Gideon, this is what was the gentleman from the insurance sector that came to speak to
Stanley.
us?
Stanley.
He did that was a very informal session that myself, Marcelina and Louise had with me. And was it him that explained it? It could have been Tanya as well, where it's almost as if the way it's going to go now, not all of us are academics. So, you're going to finish school, matric at the high school. That is why NCB is phasing out. If your intention is to go to a university,
Yeah.
and do a program, academic qualification, I'm going to call it per se. But then there are the students who we've been critical for. That they in grade 9 and then already they saying to their parents, I'm not going to school, this is my last year, I'm not going back to school. So we are now still catering for them. And luckily the way it's set out, Troy explained it to us, and Gina also explained, it's making so much more sense given that these students are going to have a statement like you have at the university, your academic transcript, academic record, you know, that you can request from them and it will list everything. These students will also have a statement of results. So whether they do, so let's say, and it depends on the qualification of the entry requirements would be. They stipulate them. Do they need NQF level 3, NQF level 2, NQF level 1, etc. So they will then enroll for a particular English skills program, and that is what we're aiming for at this point because we're still so new to it. We can break the whole qualification, full qualification as to explain, and break it down into look at what industry wants. Look at the curriculum document. Then you match those knowledge topics, modules, practical modules, match it to that particular skill set, and you can even create your own skills program if it hasn't been registered yet. So you can apply to have it registered as a skills program. So you, instead of doing break it down. And that student can decide. And I'm going to use beauty as an example. Marina, I like the way that. So you have a beautician, the full qualification, beautician. But within that qualification, there's lashes, nails, waxing, makeup. So someone could, Gideon, come and do lashes. And leave and go and work at the salon and do lashes. And then they decide, they get this statement of results after they write that visa, the exam. Then they leave and they go work. And then while she's there, she thinks, I need to upskill myself, lifelong learning, I need to upskill myself. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go do nails because I see I've been watching this nail technician and I can do this. Goes back. Wherever. It doesn't necessarily have to be at Palo, it can be at Boland College, it can be at Fallsburg College. The results then, once wherever she registers, they will see, oh okay, once they access her statement of results, oh you did this component at Palo. Okay, she does nails, it's added to her. So they can, eventually she can apply to the full qualification. So I like that. For someone who's practically more practically inclined, it's not that you know how it is on you've got 3 years, 4 years to complete and then you move masters, This is a more based, it's at student centered, it's at the student's pace. So I don't know if that
Yes, it makes sense.
I like what she also said. When earlier she said you go and you find out what is industry one. So she made an example last week about chefs and stuff, where they don't want a chef. They make, like there's a chef course, but industry now wants pastry thing or a bake or something, a specific component that they're looking for. So they will then, if whatever we have to offer, if we want to be in line or educate them for the market out there so they can go and work, then we would know, look here, we must offer that one because that is what industry is looking for. But not just your general chef thing or something like that. And also, as she said now about like the lashes, so they might be working on something now, they did that, or there was a contract that they were on, so now they don't have work, so they're sitting at home. And that's what she says, the skills thing, because they're looking, the National Skills Fund will fund it. Just like with our assistant chef now, where they will tell you, they have to be between, let's say, 18 and 25 years old. They must be unemployed. They must be from a certain area, and they're going to fund. So that's how they get their students, because now they advertise, and those will be the students that come here and do it. So the skills and the part qualification and full, which is like biggie, but where if you offer a full qualification that, for example, will take you 3 years, this can take you 10 years because you're doing it in bits and pieces, but you'll still get your full one. Yes. Yeah. Something else I want to also tell you, I was not in the one on Friday, but just me being in the field, hearing it over and over and over again.
That was the feedback from all of us as well on Friday.
So we have to continue with this post-level 1 staff so that they can start understanding the difference of how it's going to work. And then that anxiety that I'm sure staff are feeling right now,
It's easy.
slowly but surely, yes.
Thank you.